Hello YouTube and internet artists, DIY artists of all kinds out there across the world, who I hope that I eventually reach. This is the second installment of my new YouTube channel, DIY Music Survival. It is a work in progress as I'm going. I'm sort of instructing myself as I go on this, but I have a lot of knowledge and I hope that I'm able to help some of you out. Today we're going to be talking about this video is going to be about context, the importance of context and how it applies to you as an artist. The most successful artists are masters of context, and what that means. Here, wait, I got my little cheat sheet right here. I wrote down the definition, the dictionary definition of context. Just bear with me for a minute. Context is a noun. It means the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood and assessed. So, I hope you're following me so far. How does that apply to you as an artist? Well, context is everything. And it might not seem like it initially. You might just say, well, I'm good at what I do, and I'm talented, and my musical skill is what's gonna take me where I'm going. And you're right. Don't get me wrong. That's indispensable. Without the skilled artist, all the other stuff goes away. It don't matter if you got an expensive microphone. It don't matter if you got the top of the line fucking bullshit ass $10,000 microphone, or you have fucking Pro Tools or perfect studio. All the bullshit. Don't matter if you pour $1 million in your fucking studio. All of that, is rooted in the artist's talent. Without the artist's talent and his skill, and his ability to entertain an audience, all that other stuff is meaningless. You're better off being extremely skilled at what you do and having a fucking $20 computer microphone and just having a good idea. Nothing can replace a good idea. So keep your good ideas, man. That's where the value is at. Don't get me wrong. But in this video I'm talking about context, and take everything I say with a grain of salt, because there really is no right or wrong in this. There are standards and there are things that have shown to increase the likelihood of your success for whatever you're trying to do, but there's really, anything I say can be challenged. Even I take my own advice with a grain of salt. Rules are made to be broken, especially in the world of art, entertainment, and so on. So I went over the definition of context, and basically, as an artist, there are a series of things. These are the things that are going to get people to play your music in the first place. A lot of people would probably like your music. The thing is, they just scroll past it. That's the thing. Most of the things on the internet, there's so much information coming at you at once that most things just end up getting you just scroll past it. Especially a fucking link in my shit, my new SoundCloud song, blah 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 blah. Next, you know what I'm saying. So don't expect much more support from online communities. Don't really expect any more support than you're willing to give other artists other than yourself. If you don't ever reach out to other artists, you're probably not going to get any other artists engaged in your shit either. There's a lot of things that draw an audience for you that really don't even have anything to do with the quality of your music. You want your music to be top notch, you want it to be solid, but a lot of the things that get people interested in you, if you're online, it's that you're showing love to them and they'll show it back. Or if you're playing gigs, a lot of it is just the people are having a good time. They say with playing songs at a gig, people having a drink in their hand is going to make them like your band more than even your music will. Think about any band that you've seen live. How many of their songs do you actually remember from seeing them live? Probably not many. They'll come back to you later and they'll be like, "Hey, you remember that one song I played for you?" And you'll be like, "I'd have to hear it again." And that's just the reality of it. And that's just anybody. I mean, the human memory, it takes about 20, 30 times to actually have something stay in your memory. And if you ever listen to an artist and not liked them at first, and then the more you listen to them, you realize you did like it, and that's because you started to understand the context of their music, the settings and situations in which you were intended to get a full understanding of the music became more clear. And it's also true that there's so many different styles and genres that reflect so many different cultures and different types of people with different backgrounds, that one man's hit is another man's shit. So figure out who's going to consider you a hit and who's going to consider you shit. And everyone, even the most successful artists, people are going to consider you shit. Just brush it off, man. And okay, an example of what I'm talking about with context. What are some things you can do? I got my cheat sheet here, like I said. And I'm not looking for like all this production value. You go on like YouTube and you see all these videos, all these fucking SoundCloud, how to get more plays on SoundCloud, blah blah blah, and it's all fucking production valued out and shit. I'm here to give advice, man. And I'm just here to get the information out here and hope that it helps somebody. I don't really give a fuck about production value right now. I'm just trying to make this shit and get it out there to help some people. So a good example that I had, I'm going to include the link for this album, if you haven't heard it, under the description, in the description of this video. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I'm not going to feature the album artwork or any of the music here because I don't want to have to deal with like rights or permissions or anything like that. But you do this. If you want to understand what I'm saying, follow the link down there to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, the song Breathe in the Air, and just take in, as you're listening to it, just click the link first, listen to it, and then come back to the video. Alright, if you're back, okay, notice the way that the music combines with the album artwork, and that combines with the song names, and that combines with even like the lengths of the songs. There are a number of factors that influence the context of your music and how the artist is going to understand your music and relate to it. That includes like album covers or any visual accompaniment, including videos, or even how you carry yourself. And that also includes like the song names. What are you naming your songs, and how long are the songs, and what goes on at the very beginning of your songs. The first few seconds of your song are crucial, man. So make sure that the first few seconds are solid. Make sure you get the listener's attention from the very beginning, because you might have the bulk of the song might be really amazing, but they might just like change the song before they get to it, because it doesn't keep them engaged from the very start. Even like your stage name or like your name on your profile. What are you naming yourself or calling yourself? Because that says a huge statement about who you're selling to and who you're trying to reach and who your listeners are and what they're going to think of you. There's also like the tempo and the rhythm. It's shown that like songs in dance clubs are often like a certain tempo, and songs in particular settings have certain rhythms and tempos that go well with them. So pay attention to like the tempo and the beats per minute of your tracks, because that can have an influence on like the energy you're putting off to people. Even like the room you're recording in. Where are you recording? Your studio. Make sure it's a comfortable environment, man. It's like, if you ever taken LSD or mushrooms, like you want it to be the kind of environment that you would have a good trip in. If that makes sense. I don't fuck with drugs, but and I don't condone them either. But yeah, I mean, just pay attention to the setting in which you're recording. Make sure it's a comfortable environment where you can feel comfortable and you can really express yourself. For example, like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the album by Kanye West. That album, he got a lot of advice from other artists in the making of that album. So get advice from people about your context and about what you're doing, and listen to it. Get people who are going to be honest with you. And another thing Kanye did in that album is he had a separate room for every song he recorded in that album. For every song he recorded on that album, it had its own individual room that was decorated with certain things that contributed to the mood of that song. So that's really food for thought too. Really, really, really set the stage for the energy of that song while you're recording it, man. That's huge because that's gonna be the copy of the song that people remember it by. Let's see, another thing is like the thematic elements of the song. Like, are you telling a story? Is it just simple like expression? What are you? Those types of things, like, in like your stage presence or your physical presence, the way you carry yourself, your whole demeanor, and your delivery of your vocals and everything, and even the song, like the intro of the song, the way it plays out. It just makes sure, like, through context, you're setting the stage for the listener. You're setting the stage. It's like you're putting on a play or something, and that the play, you want to have a good set for your play so people can really get immersed in the experience and nothing is taking them out of it. Like, imagine a play with no set, with no decorations on the set or anything. Imagine how boring that would be. And to give you an example of that, well, this is something that I can do. Alright, so I was talking about Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. Just in your head, or even just do this in your own time. Like, think of like the stupidest, most contextually bad album cover you possibly can. Like, draw one up yourself. Get a piece of paper and draw a shitty album cover with like a crown, and draw like pink shit, dark side of my ass or something, and draw it in like crayon on like white paper, and then like draw a big fucking turd in the middle of it or something, and then play the music from that album, and look at that album cover, look at the one you drew, and notice the distinct difference of the entire experience, from if you are looking at the actual album cover while you listen to it, and if you were looking at like your own shitty version of it. And immediately you'll see that like music is not just heard. I mean, you experience it. It's lived, it's seen, it's felt. And there are a lot of things that accompany that, like the album artwork and the song names. Those things play a huge role. So pay attention to those things and be a master of the context in your music and the way your listeners are going to understand it. And that will make a huge impact on the impression people give you. Even like, I mean, yeah, you always want to improve as an actual musician, and you always want to improve your actual creative output as far as songs and the quality of the songs themselves. But there's a lot of other things you can do to actually get people to pay attention in the first place. So I really hope this helps some people. Please like this video if you think it's good advice. Comment on it, subscribe, tell me what you think. I want to touch on some other subjects. I mean, pretty much anything. This is all subject to opinion, man. Let's have an argument, man. Challenge what I'm saying. Anything, but take it with a grain of salt, man. If it don't apply, let it fly. Alright? Yep. Until next time, tell me what you think. Bye.